Hey everybody, welcome to November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, North Carolina for extreme lovers, and I'm not. Just Dom, the darling old man. I'm putting this video up here after about 3 years of active experience learning on some things about going out and activating a park. This is a cheat sheet. Primarily this. This is not all the fancy with the laptop and everything. This is some of the basics for you to consider if you want to go out to some parks and you want to play and have fun becoming an activator. This is an opinion only, mine, what I've learned from being out in the field. And you may have some of these same questions in the back of your head, so we'll try to answer them. I'll try to keep this in under about 20 minutes. One of the things about activating a park is equipment and location. Those are two things that you can control. One thing you can't control is propagation. So you'll learn that as time goes by. But let's talk about the equipment. There is no best rig for the park. It's what you can afford. Very simple. I use an FT891. I started out with a ICOM 17 and acquired a Yaesu 991 Alpha. The 991 I use at the house. The 891 I use out in the field. It works well for me, but I'm not a QRP station, although I can turn my power down on the 891. I prefer about 80 watts is what I run. Remember, you're going to be going out. It's your radio. If you already have a radio, use what you got until you make sure you're 100% enjoying what you're going to be doing. The source of power. Some people use solar cells. I use biano batteries. They are more expensive than Miatas and some of the other different brands. But you carry a lead acid battery around for a while and you'll only use the term first and last time I do that because they do get heavy. But you don't have to have the biggest and best of purchased items when you first get started. So put that in the back of your head, okay? If you have an inexpensive radio and you have an inexpensive battery source, if you start out with a 6 amp hour battery, that's fine. It's only going to last so long under the strain of how much power you use. The antenna you use, you can make your own dipole. You don't have to go buy a commercial one. You can use, and I'm just going to throw some names out. There's various different antennas for different areas, okay? You got the Wolf River Coil, you got the Buddy Pole, you got the Chameleon Delta Loop, you got the Chameleon End Fit. And once you start pricing these things out, it gets to be a little chunky. But 2 is 1, 1 is none. You'll be like me. You get one antenna and you find something else you like, so you're going to buy it. And next thing you know, you got 2 antennas. Well, it's good because one's going to break down on you. It always happens. So that's where 2 is 1, 1 is none. Myself, I carry 2 batteries. I moved up to a 15 and a 20 amp hour battery for my activations. You don't have to have a Go box, but they're nice to have. If you want to make one, they're affordable to make, or it can be lazy like me. I'm 70 some years old, so I don't make a lot of stuff anymore. My antennas I can buy commercially at brick and mortars, but I have all my antennas made for me by KO4 Fox Sierra Zulu, a young man who's an active ham, an active POTA, and knows exactly what he's doing, and very honorable in his words. Customer service is outstanding. When I go out now, again, this is the basics. This is not fancy. I don't have a software program and a laptop or a device. I use this simple thing called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. That means for me, not you. I take some pencils, I take some paper, I got my antenna up in the air. I'll tell you how to get it up, what I do. But I use paper and pencil because the battery doesn't go dead on them. In the wintertime, ink doesn't write very well, so you have to keep that in mind. In the summertime, the mosquitoes bite, so always take some kind of thermocell or bug spray. I use a Avon type brand bug repellent, and it works very well for me. You're going to be dealing with sun possibly blinding you. The little trick is take a cardboard box, put it on your table or wherever you're perching yourself. Put your radio inside that to shield it from the blasting sun. Or get you a canopy, a very simple pop-up canopy. Me, I used a tarp and some bungee cords, and I always try to position myself near a tree or two, or the vehicle even, and secure to there and make me a shelter. It helps in the rain too, because rain does happen. One of the things about wherever you go to in a park, the first easiest way to activate a park is don't spot yourself. But if you're at an area where you have internet service, go to the spotting page and start hunting the activators. Hunt them. Don't tell them you're activating. You're just going to make a park to park call, log the time, log their park, and regardless of getting 10 contacts or not, if you're going to tell somebody out there that you're park to park, you better be willing to upload your log. Okay, very simple. That activator, whoever they are, wherever they're at, deserves the credit for making a park-to-park contact if you called it that. If you're not wanting to tell somebody you're in a park, you just want to hunt them so that you don't get enough contacts, well, still upload your log. Okay? Do not worry about the word of a failed activation. There's no such thing as failed activation. You may not have acquired 10 contacts when you first get started, but you're having a learning experience. And if propagation is not with you, you can't change that. One of the things you'll learn as an activator is what band do I go and where? Well, depending on what part of the country you're in dictates what band, and a little bit of research and studying, watching and listening in your area that you're going to be in will help you. 40 meters generally on the East Coast is very good early in the morning from 1100 to 1400 UTC. When you start getting to the Midwest and to the West Coast, all those numbers change because time changes. In other words, you may go from 2 hours to 4 hours total difference in timing before those bands open up. 20 meters is generally a good morning and mid-afternoon all day. 40 meters should kick back in again on the East Coast. About 5, 6 o'clock at night, you should start seeing some activity on 40 meters. 10 meters, it's very unpredictable. 15 meters, if you watch a spotting page, see activity, go there, go there. Same thing with 12 meters. Don't say, well, there's nothing there. Spot yourself if you can and go there and put out a call for at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes. Give people a chance to see the spotting page and see that you're there and try to work you. Same thing with 17 meters. There's a lot of bands that people assume are dead because they never hear anything. Well, they never go over there and make any noise to be heard. Don't get caught in that situation. Now, if you're traveling on the road and you're using hamstick antennas, do they work? Yes. Are they 100% proficient? I won't say 100%, but like an ATOS that I use on my car, I can still make 100 to 200 contacts sitting in the car. So don't doubt it. If you want to talk with somebody about ham sticks, very seriously get a hold of Brian, N2 Bravo Tango Delta. Okay, he is exclusive. If you want to talk with ATOS operators, there's many of us out there. KC1 November Delta Quebec, a great ATOS user. Okay, the antennas are sometimes touchy when you go out to a park. Do you want to go to a ranger and say, hey, I'm going to do a park activation? No. Understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be deceitful, but don't advertise having fun with banners and stuff like this unless you know that that park is positive towards amateur radio. Some places want to charge you a fee for the privilege of having an event. You're not just talking on your radio, either in your vehicle or on a picnic table. Some places do not want to have an antenna in the tree. Abide by their rules and guidelines. They don't want a spike in the ground. That's why you use tripods. That's why you use a painter's pole or a telescopic pole that you can lean up against a tree maybe, or secure it to the edge of a table, or secure it to the back of a truck. There's many different ways that you can improvise on your first activations. The yellow dot, when you look on a map, is only a central location of where the park is. You can go anywhere as long as, now understand this, your radio and your antenna and you are in the park, period. Not outside the parking lot, outside a locked gate. That does not constitute being inside the park. Okay? If you're running hammers, I don't know how to operate hammers. I'm not going to pick it up or knock it down. I use paper logging and go home. You're not running a race when you're activating. It's your activation. So take your time. If you didn't get their call right, no problem. Ask again. Because those hunters out there are dependent upon you to upload your log, period. If you're a brand new hunter, what do? You wait until the activator has uploaded their logs. A very easy way for you to see if they have is go over to the screen where the spotting page is, scroll down to where it says My Hunter's Log. Click on that, and that should tell you who's uploaded their logs and who hasn't. Many of you now don't remember when we used to wait 30 to 45 days to get a log uploaded because of the volunteers that had to manually receive an email from each and every one of us and process them. And since you're relatively new, the word is volunteer. All personnel are volunteers. They have other lives and jobs and things like that. So take a moment to appreciate them, appreciate what they're doing for us while we go out and practice our emergency communications, playing on the radio. If you're into a situation where a ranger confronts you, do not be confrontational with them. Respect their place that they are working at and their guidelines. Sometimes we have to shut up and don't speak up and get yourself in trouble. It's not that way all the time. That's just once every blue moon, but occasionally it'll happen. That's pretty much it. You don't need a whole bunch out there, folks. You don't need to go out and spend all that money at first and thinking that this radio is the number one and this antenna is the number one. Just go out and get your feet wet. Remember, ham radio is fun. Is what we make it. Our code of conduct when we're out in the parks. We're being visually looked at by many, many people. And I always try to make sure that I'm leaving a good impression out at that park about what we do in ham radio. Another thing for you, though, folks that go out to a park, um, a general rule of thumb is you leave the place cleaner than it was when you got there. There are some filthy people out there that know how to leave trash and all that. In the area you're at, make sure that you clean up behind yourself and don't leave evidence that you're a bad party and giving amateur radio a bad name. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me, get a hold of me on the air. Remember, as an activator, it's your activation. You're not trying to be as good or as bad as anybody you've heard on the air. You be yourself and you have fun. And the more you do, the better you'll get, the better propagation will change from day to day. So you may go out and get 12 contacts and that's it, but you had fun. Or you may go out and get 220 contacts and wonder, wow, did that happen? You never know. We don't control propagation. We only get to play with it. November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima. Thank you for taking the time today. Thank you for thinking about becoming an activator and trying it out and see how it feels. If you get a chance, go out with somebody who is one. Invite yourself along so that you get to see and feel what it's really all about. 73s NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. 73s.